Hi, my name is Frank Dorris. I'm from Immaculate Conception Church.
I'm Joe Szymanski, and I am also at Immaculate Conception Church. And my grandparents came from Lithuania in the early 1900s, and they were from the area of Ratavas.
And my great-grandparents came from Lithuania in the early 1900s. Still unsure where they came from, but I'm still searching that.
So this Immaculate Conception Lithuanian Church of East St. Louis is perhaps one of the most beautiful Lithuanian churches in America, and certainly the most rich in ethnic details. Could you tell more of its story and the story of its Lithuanian architectural details?
Do you want to? Okay. Well, originally it was designed by an architect of Lithuanian descent, and he lived in Germany. And Father Dick's niece got in contact with him, and he designed a church that would be built. And the architecture and the material that the church is made of, for instance, the iron railing, the bricks, were all locally made, because we have steel mills, we have brick yards, and so it not only has the Lithuanian touch, but it also has the local influence.
So Mr. Frank Dorris, or Pranas Doršaitis, would be your name of your Doršaitis, the name of your great-grandparents, yeah?
Yes.
So what are the details, architectural details in this church that interest you the most?
It is basically the heritage that my family came from. The history is basically portrayed in a visual way that you can show anybody that comes in, you can educate them on the background, the heritage of the Lithuanian people.
So you actually joined this church quite recently, as I understand.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long ago?
I joined about 12 years ago.
12 years ago. So how come that you have decided to research your heritage, and then after you discovered more about Lithuanian heritage, to join the Lithuanian church?
It was just an interest that I had at the time, trying to figure out my family history, talking to my family, learning that we were Lithuanian, that my great-grandparents came to this church, they helped to build this church, and so I wanted to see what that was about, and was very interested in that aspect of it.
Yeah, I think it's very great that young people like you join the Lithuanian churches and help to continue the community. So you have mentioned that your son speaks perfect Lithuanian, even though you do not. So how did that happen?
Well, I could speak, let's see, hello, goodbye, food, but my son did our for a school project, he went and did the family tree. And we had letters from Lithuania. I could not read them. My grandmother was dead. So he found this church where people could still read and write Lithuanian. So he forced us to come here, in a sense, because he was still in grade school. And he got interested in the language. He started to take Lithuanian from a couple who lived here, and this led him to register, brought us here. He has since learned Lithuanian fluently, and he went, in fact, and studied at the University of Vilnius so that he could speak even better. But my Lithuanian is what people call Old Lithuanian, that, you know, like the diminutive, my grandmother called me Juzuks, all right? People don't use Juzuks anymore, do they? So when he went to study, people, and they were studying the diminutive, the teacher asked, does anybody know any word in the diminutive? My son raises his hand, and he says, oh yes, Yuzuks, Kotoks, and she start laughing because that's old Lithuanian, but the Lithuanian I grew up with.
So what else, what Lithuanian words and sentences?
Oh, gee. I know how to cuss a little bit, which we used in school. The kids who of Lithuanian heritage, we had nuns who were not from Lithuania, and so when we would get mad at the nuns, we would use Lithuanian to tell them how we feel. But another thing, people say labas, and we would say caped out. So I mean, I don't even know if they use that anymore. But when I say caped out, that's everybody walking down the street. Caped out. G'day, g'day. So, I don't know.
So Frank, do you think it is quite common in your generation of Americans to be interested in family history, and so your friends also interested in family history, and perhaps are there other friends like you who discovered the Lithuanian roots?
Yes, in the United States, a lot of the current generations have lost contact with Europe, where they came from, and so a lot of people are trying to trace the roots back to see where their family originated from, how they started, how they came to be in this country, and through that they're finding out more and more that they may not think that they're pure German, that there is Lithuanian, there is other nations, ethnicities that are in their bloodline, so it's very interesting.
You have told us that you are a farmer, and you are farming a land that who bought in your family?
It'd be my great-grandparents bought the land.
So your great-grandparents who immigrated from Lithuania?
Yes.
They bought the land, and it is still passed on, and you are still farming?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
What do you think about our map and the general idea that we should map Lithuanian-American heritage and put the information online?
It's a great idea. It's a great help tool for the United States to use, and other people from around the world to come see the ethnicity, the heritage that is still flowing in this country and that we're proud of. And it's a great resource to have the map. That there's sites that I looked on the map currently that you have already marked, and I didn't realize they were so close, but yet there is something there to go look at and maybe find a little bit more of my heritage.
Thank you very much.